So today I'll be teaching you how to do the Btmm flashcards. So we use the flashcards as homework. We also call them R&D or research and development. So this helps you to understand Btmm more better, and they help you to see trades which have already formed so that you'll be able to see them before they form. Okay, so let's get into it and I'll be showing you how to do it. So what you should be checking first is the Asian range. The Asian range should be 50 pips, less than 50 pips. So that's the only chart that you should be marking, any chart with an Asian range below 50 pips. Also find the initial high of the day and the initial low of the day, which are the range of the Asia. Okay, the high of the Asia and the low of the Asia. Also look for the vector, the inducement of price on the London opening. Also look for the now new high of the day or the low of the day. Also look how the candles interact with the 13 EMA to get your M or W pattern, and then you label where you would have taken your entries. Okay, so I want us to dive into the charts, and this is where I'll be explaining everything. So I'll do this using live charts. So this is a chart already happening. You can see an interesting pattern here already. So let's start with this one. Okay, so when you come to your chart, the very first thing you have to check is the Asian range. Is the Asian range less than 50? Yes, so this is a variable trade. So you mark your initial high of the day. So you call it the IHOD. Okay, so that's your IHOD. Let's turn it to black for better visibility. Okay, and then you mark your I low of the day. Okay, so if you have a problem using the MT4, make sure you watch my first video on my YouTube. It shows you how to use MT4 like a pro. Okay, so here you can see 3 candles to the top, 1 2 3. So that's your vector. So that's the second thing you should be checking off. So vector. Okay, so that's my vector. So I'll use numbers to report them. So my first candle, that's my first candle. So I'll name 1. So that's my first candle. My second candle. Okay, 2. And then my third green candle to the top. 3. Okay, so you can see the wick. So this is my high of the day. So you use a line to mark the high of the day like that. Okay, so this line shows you where the high of the day is, so you can just mark the high of the day. Okay, like that. So you can see how it is easier for me to mark it when you know how to use MT4 well. So 1 2 3, that we have now the high of the day. So now we check the interaction with the 13 EMA. Since we are above the 13 EMA, we have to see below the 13 EMA. So you use letter B to represent below the 13 EMA like that. So that's below the 13 EMA. So you want to look above the 13 EMA back towards the high. So this is back above the 13 EMA since it was already, this was the initial above, below, then back above, and then now we are waiting for back below the 13 EMA. So that's the back below the 13, back below the 13 EMA. Okay, so after seeing the back below, so this candle is one that closed below, so now you have a confirmed M. If you're not sure, use the line chart as I always say, and you can see perfect M. Up, below, back, above, back, below. Okay, and Steve says on this candle, if they give you a railway track, then that's a very nice trade. It's more guaranteed to work out. And you can also see the TDI has above, then didn't go quite above the band, above the outside the band, inside the band, and it crossed the signal line. Okay, so if you are to take these cells, so this would be your entry. So after that candle closes immediately like that, you would have gone enter right there. So you right where you should have taken your enter. So you'd have taken cells, enter. And when you say enter, it's better you indicate the direction. Okay, cell. Yeah. So you enter, you'd have entered cells. So where would be your stop loss? So you should be around 25 pips from your entry. So 23 to 25 pips. So let's just use 25 pips to target to 50. So that's where your stop loss would have been, somewhere in here. So you should be somewhere in there. Okay. I don't know, that's around 25 pips. Yeah, almost there. Somewhere there. Okay. So that's where you should have your SL. Okay, you can see you are way outside the range. Your stop loss is way outside the range. If they come and hit it, you are just wrong, because now they broke the high of the day. Okay, you can see how far you are from the high of the day. I don't know how many pips are those. Let's look. From the high of the day, you are 15 pips above the high of the day. So if they come and hit it, then you are wrong. You are going on the wrong direction. Okay, but I'll teach you the weekly template so that you'll be able to know exactly which direction to be looking for. Okay, so after marking it like this, you might also want to put the shark fin here, but I'll teach TDI later. I haven't taught TDI yet. So for now, I want you to just focus on the chart alone. Okay, I'll teach the TDI very soon. Okay, you can see I'll teach the TDI later. Okay, so after doing this, you can right click, save as a picture. You make sure it's active chart as is only, and sometimes you'll get this ticked, you untick it. Okay, make sure this is unticked and active chart as is, then you say okay. Then you put something at the end of it for it to save different. Don't save it exactly as it is, add something here, then say save, and it will show you how the picture looks like. So you can see the picture I've taken. If I don't want this, I can edit it. I can crop, I can just crop it like that and apply and save as a copy. Okay, so you can just save copy. Okay, so you can see now how my image looks like. I have the initial of the day, my vector 1 2 3 to the high of the day. So above the 13 EMA, we are above the 13 EMA, so we go back below, back above, back below, you get your entry right there. Okay, at this level, that's what I want you to be doing. Okay, so let's go to the other one. Something else I would have forgotten, sorry. You must see an imable kind of pattern on the second leg. So this is a railway track right here. So you can also label that with a box like that. Let me change it to to a hollow box, got it gray, blue, like that. So that's how I'll be marking my nameable candle pattern. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, we can also label this one. You can see it's 17 pips. So the first thing to do is the initial high of the day. You label the initial high of the day. Okay, that's your initial of the day, and then your initial low of the day. Okay, again, if you have trouble with MT4 marking, so you can see the wick above, so that was your high of the day. Okay, so that was your high of the day. They went below the 13 EMA, back above the 13 EMA, give you a nameable candle pattern on the right timing, and then they came below the 13 EMA. But this is not quite a close yet. This was the nice close, so this would be your entry. So let's mark it. We are above the 13 EMA. So the vector here, there is no actual vector. Sometimes they will not give you the actual vector. It depends on the volume, but when they do it, you can see they swept the Asian high. Okay, so when you come to trade on the right timing, I already taught how many candles you should have already counted, 16 candles. So when you come around this time, so you're supposed to mark these things very fast, okay, and know where you are. Okay, so what do I see? Above the 13 EMA, below the 13 EMA. So below the 13 EMA, and then we go to, so that's below my 13 EMA. This is 13 EMA, it went below here, it stayed below, so back above. So we go back above the 13 EMA. Okay, so we are at back above the 13 EMA, then we go back below the 13 EMA, back below the 13 EMA. Okay, so this is the candle that went back below, so that would you have clicked your sell immediately. It crosses below. Okay, let me mark it like this. Okay, I like it to be a straight line. So this is should be your entry. So that's how you should have taken your entry. So you'd have entered right there, and which direction you'd have taken what? You'd have taken a sell entry. Okay, so you'd have entered what? Sales. Remember, this hadn't formed, so this was here. And you should be very fast. The moment it closes in, you click sell immediately. You should, the moment you see it back above, you wait for a nameable candle pattern. You can see it right there. It's right there. It's a railway track. So when you see a nameable candle pattern, you come here very fast. Put your lot size, okay, whatever you trade, and be ready. The moment it crosses below, you click sell instant. Okay. So for me, I have a trade manager that puts my stop loss and take profit immediately. Okay, I do have a trade manager that does it for me. So you should count where your stop loss would have gone, 25 pips. It's quite above there. Let's see where it went. From the entry, 25 pips. So it should be already here on the blue tracer. So that's why your stop loss would be sitting. Okay, you can see most of the time the stop loss is way above the high of the day. Okay, and where would be your TP? 50 pips below. Okay, 50 pips below. So right here, so you can see this, they would have smashed your TP very quickly. like a monster candle. This went very fast in take in your TP and hit your TP very fast. Okay, if you took this trade, you can see how it was. So you can try to enlarge it a little bit. Try to see where your stop loss would be initially sitting. Okay, right there. Your TP, your enter. It's not quite visible, so you can sell. So this is how you mark your chart. Nice. So you save as a picture. Make sure this is active chart as is. This is not ticked. Okay, so you say okay, and you add something in there. Okay, whatever you want to put there, and you can see now your picture looks like this. So this is your flashcard. Okay, you can see the high of the day, back below, back above, then back below. You take your enter, your stop loss, your take profit, and it was smashed. Okay, so let's continue on the other one. Okay, this was not a very nice day. You can see what they did. Okay, so let's not mark that one. So let's mark this one. Okay, this looks nice. Okay, so the first thing, initial high of the day. So the initial high of the day. Okay, the initial low of the day. Okay, so on the right timing you are looking for a vector. Okay, they never gave it to. This was just zigzag, nothing yet, until this point where they dropped like fast, and they give you the low of the day. Okay, so this was your vector, but it's not clear, it's not a clean one. So you can see this candle spiked all the way to here. That's first, second one, and then now the third one. Okay, so now you can get your vector right here, vector to the low. Okay, it's easier to do it when it's already formed, so I want you to do it when it has already formed until you can see it clearly, for you to be able to do it before it forms. Okay, so this is my first vector up to here, to 8 wicked. So for it to become another vector, it has to break this low. This never broke, so this is our second vector. Okay, take note of that. So okay, let me put some lines for easy identification. So this is what I'm saying. Okay, so this was my first vector. These two never broke, so this is the one that actually broke. So that was my second vector, and this was the last point it hit. The candle that broke it was this inverted hammer right there. Okay, remember what I said about vector? There are 3 candles, huge candles with the same color. Okay, so the vector 2, now the vector 3. Okay, the vector 3. After the vector, now you have the low of the day, like that. Okay, let me remove this one. I'd put it when I was trading. Okay, so that's your low of the day now. So that's my low of the day. Now you are looking the interaction with the 13 EMA. We are below the 13 EMA already, so we are going above the 13 EMA. So you put a letter A to represent the above the 13 EMA. Okay, so then we go back below the 13 EMA. So BB to represent back below, and then now we are going to back above the 13 EMA. Back above the 13 EMA, you can see it was a very nice smash and give you a second leg nameable candle pattern. This one you didn't even struggle with. You can see how beautiful it is, a morning star. So this will be your entry right there. The moment that closed, you kill it, you go buy. Okay, so you enter. So you have entered. Okay, you enter what? You enter buys. Okay, so you would have entered buy, your stop loss below 25 pips. It's way below. It's very far from the dealer. Okay, you can see how far your stop loss is to get hit. Okay, so your stop loss is down there, down there. Okay, somewhere there. Okay, 25 pips somewhere there. Okay, so that's where your stop loss is. It's around 25 pips. Somewhere there. You can see outside the band, inside the band, you have a shark fin. Okay, that's a shark fin. Okay, you have a shark fin right there. Okay, you can see it happens on the first leg, and then the second leg gave us went just above a little bit, but it was a nice trade. I don't know if whether it gave us 50 pips, not quite, give us around 27. Okay, when it comes and start doing this, you should exit. It's already late, the day is ending, so don't hold trades for the next day. Okay, I don't know whether if you held, no, it never gave you. So it just on this day, the third day of the, you'll come to realize on level 3 or sometimes they will not give you 50, but when you saw the brute tracer right here, I mean not the brute tracer, the 800 EMA, you would have probably taken some target there. So this only gave you 27 pips. Okay, so you would have probably gotten out with around 20 pips on this one, which is not bad. Okay, when it went 27, you should already be break even on 25 pips. You go break even. Okay, so you have gotten out with 20 pips. So this is still a nice trade. So you save it. As I've said, active chart as is. This one is not marked, so you say okay, and you click whatever you want, and your picture is saved. Okay, so this is your flashcard. Okay, let's go to another day. This is not a clean day. Okay, this is not quite that beautiful. Okay, I want something nice. This one I had already marked, so you can see initial low of the day, initial high of the day. There was no vector. This was my, we are above the 13 EMA, below the 13 EMA, back above the 13 EMA. Second leg Nemabo candle pattern. You wait for a close, you enter here, but for a pro second leg Nemabo candle pattern is still an entry. So you take sales right here, and I think this gave you sweet 50 pips. This was no struggle. Actually gave you 50 pips on this candle. Okay, that was your 50 from your entry. Okay, so this had already marked. Let's go to another one. A beautiful one. This one, let's mark this one. Let me remove all this. Let me remove all this and let us mark it. Okay, so first thing Asia below 50, that's a nice one. Anything above 50, just leave it. So we have the initial high of the day, then we need to low of the day. So this is what you should be doing on weekends to mark the week that has already passed. Then we have here our vector. This was a very clean vector, a beautiful one. Okay, we have our vector 3. So don't expect vectors every day. They don't give out vectors every. So this one is my vector 1, 2, 3. You can see this very beautiful 3 candles to the high. So 1. So we have 2. And we have 3. Okay, yeah, like that. 1, 2, 3. And then now we have the high of the day. We have the high of the day right there, like that. So I'm waiting for a, since we are above the 13 EMA, I'm waiting for a close below the 13 EMA. So that was my close below the 13 EMA. So you should be singing this in your head: above the 13 EMA, below the 13 EMA, back, above. This is what you should be doing to make it very easy for you. So we go back above the 13 EMA, and they give us a code of wood. You can see green, red, went below the 13 EMA. So that was your entry. Okay, back below. So that was our back below right there, and we got our entry right there. Okay, so that was our entry right there. So that was our entry. You enter what? You enter cells. Okay, so you can see how beautiful this trade was. So the moment you entered, stop loss 25 pips, you can see almost went just above the high. You'll find your stop losses being above the high somewhere there. Okay, most of the time your stop loss will be above the dealer's hand. Okay, sometimes they do come back, but most of the time you should hit your TP around 80 to 90%. Okay, so in this one they gave us 47. I don't know if it, no, actually the lowest point was 47 pips. It's not a bad trade, but if they came close above the 13 EMA, should have exited with around 36-37 pips. Okay, they never actually give us 50. I don't know whether they went 46, 47. It's around 47 pips if you waited for it to do all this. Okay, so this one gave you 46 pips. You can see it had already dropped a lot here. That's why we never actually, but from the high to the low, I'm sure it finished the ADR. Can see it went around 70 pips. Okay, the first leg was so huge, that's why. Okay, yeah, so guys, I think this is enough, so let's save it. Sorry, make sure it's active as is, like that. Okay, so this is it. So this is what you should be doing on the weekends. Make sure you have all these flashcards. Okay, this will help you know what to do when you get in the chart and don't get confused and start clicking buy sells anywhere. Okay, so follow this pattern, and if you don't understand the daily pattern, I've already taught this on my previous videos, so go watch them and write on the comment section if you have learned something. Let's engage. If there's anything you haven't understood, let me know on the comment section. I'll get back to you. So see you on my next video. Bye bye guys, and have a nice trading week. Okay, see you.